The Native Land Claims Bill the Senate passed has brought a great deal of mail here to my office in Washington. Now, some Alaskans are in favor of this bill and others are against it. Reading the letters and telegrams that people from home have sent me, I realize there's something very basic about this bill that has not been understood. There are some elementary facts that must be dealt with. For example, court decisions that go back way into the last century give validity to native land claims. In fact, the natives of Alaska now claim over 90%, almost all of Alaska. Now, we can't spend all our time in the next 40 to 50 years litigating these claims, trying to get them decided through the courts. So we're trying to get the Congress to decide the issue. In the second place, the Congress has put this issue off now for over 100 years. Every year is delayed. That means the problem gets worse. It's just got to be settled. It's not going to go away. And it has to be settled because, as you know and I know, Alaska is at a standstill. Our hands are tied. Until this problem is settled, there can be no meaningful development, no economic development in Alaska. We've got to open up the things that there in our state so that jobs can be created, so that Alaska can become more prosperous. The pipeline, our Alaska pipeline, is just one of the projects we very desperately need. And we've all been told by the pipeline company that the pipeline is not going to move 1 inch until this settlement is made. And there are other industrial and commercial developments that are waiting for this settlement. In fact, nothing is going to happen regarding land in Alaska until these land claims are settled. Now, I know that when you pick up a paper and you read about 40 million acres and $1 billion, your immediate reaction is why. People are always asking me, why are you giving them so much? Well, what I want to tell you is we're really not giving them anything. If you really want to look at this bill, it's a compromise between the United States government on one side and the Alaska Natives and Alaskans, all Alaskans, on the other side. Alaska today is 95% federal land. And if you really want to look at the bill that way, it frees our state land selections so that if it gives anybody anything, it's giving the state the 103.5 million acres we got at statehood. The overriding importance of this bill is that it gives the natives their land, but it also gives Alaska the freedom to control its own property. The state land selections are my primary goal in working on this land claims bill, along with justice for our native people. Now, this should have been settled a long time ago, and it wasn't. The only thing we can do now is to get it settled and get it over with so we can get about the business of building a strong, viable economy for everybody's good in the state. Now, I know there are things that you don't like about this bill, and I can tell you there are a lot of things I don't like about the bill. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of things the native people don't like about the bill. But I can tell you right now that if this business drags out and these people from all over the country, the 434 other members of the House and the 98 other members of the Senate, if they have their way about it and they continue to get themselves involved in settlement of our problem, there's not going to be anything anybody likes about the Alaska Native Land Claims Bill. Now, there are provisions in this bill that will help us develop Alaska. There's a provision to reserve rights-of-way for future roads and highways. We've tried to be sure that we can inventory all our land resources, and we've tried to do our best to answer the needs of our village people. The one great thing that we have to do is to get this problem settled. It's the most complicated problem that Congress has had to work out in a long time. I've worked on it. I've worked on it intensively now since I was in the Department of Interior in 1956, and I can tell you there's nothing simple about the native land claims. There's no way to do it so that everybody can be happy. There's no way to do it other than to just get the best possible compromise we can and to get the deal made so that it will be a good deal for all Alaskans, natives and non-natives alike. Now, I know some of you don't like to face the facts that are involved, but really, the thing that we've got to ask you to do is to trust us. We need your trust at this time. We're going to do everything we can to get justice for the Alaska Native people and to get this thing settled so that we can get our Alaska statehood lands and so that we can get on to the important projects such as our pipeline and get on to it quickly.